Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 17 minutes past 6 in the morning. We are just cooking ourselves some breakfast. And welcome to day 5 of the Masterclass for Scum in 2025. And today is going to be all about base building. The first tip I want to give you about base building is trying to find a flat spot and hidden. So, two things that you need to focus on when looking for a base location. First of all, you want a flat spot because if you want your base to be protected, you need outer walls. Outer walls are at their strongest if you can build solid 5-meter pieces. But if your ground is unlevel, then those 5-meter pieces are going to break up into smaller pieces because the ground is not level. So, point number 1, make sure the ground's level. Point number 2, try and let it be hidden. Now, we are hidden away here in B3 in between the forest. My favorite spot in the entire game is right here in B2, just underneath this town in this little square over here. There's a lot of people, I like the base location here as well. If you want to like take over a server or you don't care that people know where your base is, there's a nice flat spot over here. As you go into the big city, there's a nice flat spot over there. There's a lot of big spaces, like there's a big flat spot over there. But wherever you pick your base, those are the two things that you need to focus on. The reason that I love B2 or anywhere near B2 is because I'm roughly 2 sectors away from each trader, and I'm roughly 3 sectors away from everything. Because if I build my base here, I have to go across the map to go to the radiation zone, the scrapyard, that trader, and that trader. If I'm here, again, across the map. If I'm here, across the map. So, location is very important to me. But maybe fishing is very important to you. Maybe you want a base where you can catch some fish. Then you want the dragon's head. We call this the dragon's head. And you can catch fish over there. Or maybe you want to craft a base near the ocean. Or maybe you want to build a base close to your favorite POIs. Like, there's not a heck of a lot of high-tier loot POIs here, but just the utility of it is what I'm focusing on. So what we're going to do now is craft our flag. We want to place our flag as close to the trees as possible, whatever trees we're going to use. So I'm going to use these trees over here. Okay. Because if you're in the flag zone, you can carry a wheelbarrow, okay, to the trees, or you can double click a chest. So all we're gonna go is we're gonna go base building, and we're gonna start right at the top, which is your flag. So we're gonna place our flag over here. Check if we're covering most of the ground that we want to cover. That's nice. And now we need 10 scrap metal, 10 rags, 2 nails, and a toolbox. Now, we did get a toolbox for a quest item, but we're just going to take this toolbox in our hands now. Go to the flag, uncraft the 2 bundles of rags, which is basically 5 rags each. And we're going to complete the flag. That is step number 1. Without a flag, you do not own anything. And then we're going to start with our foundation, and we want to try and start in the middle. We want to like visualize what our base is going to look like and where our base is going to be. You're not always going to get it perfect, but I'm just going to choose my center point about here. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to choose my center point here. First item I'm going to craft is a foundation. And then I want to choose the height of the foundation. Now, if you don't want bushes to stick through your foundation, you can always build a very, very high foundation. I'm not going to care about this bush. I like having my foundation about that height, half your body's length or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to start right there. Make sure my direction is good. No, I don't like my direction. So I'm going to destroy and I'm going to press Alt-C to repeat the last blueprint. Just make sure my direction is nice. There we go. Bam. Okay. And we should be good with that height. It's a little bit low for me. So I'm going to go make sure it's right. And then just raise it up a bit. Just raise it up a bit. Okay. Right there. Okay. Now I'm happy. We're going to need sticks, logs, rope, and a cutting tool. And I usually start with a 3x3 foundation. And then I move on from there. But because we want to craft a lot of walls, you can go 2x2. But we are going to go vertical. But we don't want to have too little foundations because then it's very easy for people to destroy our foundations. We want to give them a few foundations to go through. So I'm definitely going to stick to my 3x3 theory. Okay, so I'm just going to craft 3 foundations and I'll be back.
Stop right there. Say hello to my little friend.
Just found a bulletproof vest. And I'll explain to you guys now why exactly I'm here. But this bulletproof vest is way better than the crafted bulletproof vest. And it's got inventory space. So, a lot better. And I'll explain to you guys soon why I've come to this train station or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to explain how to mark your base, because some people, when they first build their base, they forget where they started building their base. Doesn't happen to everyone, but when I'm there, you won't be able to see the marker as clearly as you can see it now. So when I reference the marker to your base, that's the marker I'm talking about, the huge H on the map, so that you know where your base is. I'll talk about that more in depth now. Just wanted to tell you about it before I get there. Otherwise, my red circle marker is going to cover the H and you might not see it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is basically my base building kit. I crafted an improvised bed, which is not difficult to craft at all. You just go to your base building, utilities, and then improvised bed. It takes a few long sticks, rope, rags, and a cutting tool, and you've got yourself a bed, and you've got that marker on the map that I just spoke about. Now, you guys did see me kill NPCs at the castle, which is just above me, the B3 castle, and you guys saw me kill NPCs at the train station. And like I said, the snowball effect starts when you can buy metal broadhead carbon arrows. As you guys can see, I killed them very, very quickly. And when we get a ballista bow, which is a 100-pound bow, which we are going to get at some point, we'll be able to kill them from a very, very far distance, okay? We'll be able to kill them when they're very, very far away from us, because a ballista bow travels about 200 meters before the arrow starts dropping. Now, what did I do at the castle? I literally just walked around the castle on the white little road and collected scrap metal, because I needed scrap metal for the wheel, because I wanted to craft a wheelbarrow. This is the better way, okay? This is the very, very start of base building without any equipment, is when you cut down a tree. Now, for me to craft those 9 platforms, I have to cut down a tree, and when the logs are lying on the floor, I have to go into this screen and then move the logs, move all the logs over there, and then, and then fill the blueprint. That's like the most basic way that you can get started with no preparation. Then level 2 preparation is basically having a wheelbarrow, so that you can put the logs inside the wheelbarrow and then push the wheelbarrow there, and that's how you transport the logs to your base, because your base is going to need a lot of logs. Then the 3rd level is to have a metal chest, because when you've got a metal chest, you can fill it with a bunch of logs, and then as you're jogging, you can just double click the chest and you can drag the chest with you. You just double click the chest like this, and then you can drag the chest with you. Okay, so that's level 3. Level 4 is a vehicle. The best vehicle to do this with is the Rager, not the tractor. The Rager is the best vehicle because it can take the most amount of logs, and that's going to be really, really easy. You drive the Rager, cut down the forest, put all the logs in the Rager, drop it off at where you need it, and fill the blueprints. Okay, that's the 4 levels of base building. The reason that I've chosen the wheelbarrow and the reason I'm not going to use the chest method is because I want to level up my strength and my constitution. The 2 ways that I'm going to do that is by building a base, because when I cut down trees and I process things, I am leveling up my strength. Not a lot, but I am leveling it up. And the other way that I'm going to level up my strength is, of course, with the bicycle. When you pedal a bicycle uphill, slightly uphill, especially if you add some weight to yourself, Now, you don't want to be overweight because that's just bad. Okay. Let's just put those along here. When you ride a bicycle slightly uphill, you're going to be gaining the max amount of constitution and the max amount of strength. Okay, so we're just going to wait until we hit this uphill. As you guys can see, if we hold control, we're at 70% of the strength activity. And now when we're riding uphill, we're going to get to 100% strength activity. And we're going to get to about 100% constitution activity. And the heavier we are, see, 100% and 100%. So the heavier we are, the longer we can keep this at 100%. But the secret to keeping that at 100% is getting enough weight on you so that you just below your gear weight. Okay? Now, you guys might think, Luth, you're going to build a base. What do you mean riding a bicycle is going to help you? Well, I am going to build my base and level up my base to level 3, which is metal, with just the bicycle. So I'm going to be riding around a lot for resources, and I'm going to be riding around a lot for scrap metal because of that leveling process. The reason that I'm going to do this until level 3 is, again, to exercise, but I'm not going to make a lot of noise while I'm building my base. If you're using a rager to transport everything, you're going to make a lot of noise. People can follow you to your base. People can run through the forest and hear your rager. If you use a chainsaw, people can hear your chainsaw. Okay, so making a lot of noise while you're building your base is not the best idea in the world, and you're not leveling up your skills. So if I go over here now, and I try and put my weight to a place that I wanted, that you put my armor on as well. That's 43 kilograms. We put on my helmet as well. Let me... Yeah, what else can I add here? We add the shotgun. There, 49 kilograms. So now that we're on 49 kilograms, and remember, I'm going to be transporting scrap metal with the bicycle, so I'm going to be heavy. Now, look at that, 90% on flat ground. Because we put our gear weight just below our maximum gear weight, now even on flat ground, we are gaining 80%, 100 there, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, okay? The max is 0.33718, and the max there is above 1, okay? The max there is above 1, 1.08. Usually the max on your strength is like 0.34, but the closer you get to 5 strength, the less that level will be. So while we're riding around with a bicycle, we're going to level up our strength, and I'd like to get to 5 strength and 5 constitution. I'm going to get all my skills to 5, all my attributes to 5, but I'd like to get these there as far as I can, because I know I'm going to get dexterity to 5 quite easily without doing anything fancy. And I know I'm going to be able to get my intelligence to 5 because I don't have a problem doing abandoned bunkers. Okay? So my literal process now, I don't want to have a heck of a lot of weight on me while I'm building the base, and I don't want to be very hot. Literal process now is I'm going to take the wheelbarrow, and I fold, remember those blue wires that we got? We don't have any thread. I put all the thread and the fishing line in my chest so that I don't use the thread or the fishing line while I'm building my base, because your base needs rope. It's going to be using those blue wires and that rope. Okay, and then I've got food to sustain myself because building a base is hard work. So all I'm going to be doing is taking the wheelbarrow to my logs, dragging the logs into the wheelbarrow, going to the next tree, cutting down the tree, filling it up with logs. There. Okay, it's full. I can put that one there. I like to put the branch up right here. And then as I'm transporting the wheelbarrow to the base, I'm leveling up my strength and my constitution. Trust me. My strength is going up, even though you don't see a change there. My strength is going up. Okay? And then when I get here, I just drop everything on the ground. Like this. And put the branch here. And then I've got everything that I need. The branch is going to give me all the sticks. You never want to use long sticks on a base. So if you cut this branch up, cut all the long sticks into small sticks. I've got the sticks, I've got logs, I've got rope, and I've got a cutting tool. But I do not want to use my saw to fill the cutting blueprints. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now is going to this little farm town, seeing if I can maybe find a kitchen knife. But if you're too lazy to do that, then the best thing you can do is craft an improvised hatchet, which takes one scrap metal, which I have because I got a few scrap metal from the castle, one scrap metal, one small stick, one bolt. I'll craft the rope, one rag, 2 uses of toolboxes, which I have, and then you can use this to fill the blueprints in. Okay? But I'm going to do the 4 foundations, and then we're going to discuss something that's quite important before we start with the walls. Okay, so most people, when they have finished their foundations, they go directly to a wall and they just craft the wall. The problem is if you craft the wall immediately, then you're going to attach the roof to the walls. And when the walls get destroyed, if you get raided, then the floor is going to cave in as well. So you need to separate what supports your roof. You don't want your walls to support your roofs. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot more building to do if you get raided. So what I do is I first make 4 supports. 1, and I just press Alt-C to repeat the last blueprint. Holding Alt, press C, and you repeat the last blueprint. And then I just do these 4 foundations. And then I do the roof before I do the walls, so that the game knows these floors are connected to the foundations, not the walls. And every time I cut the branch into sticks and I cut all the long sticks into small sticks, I just craft them into bundles. There's 5 sticks in a bundle. It just makes it easier to have a ton of sticks on me. And then I can really do the roofs quite fast. And I just hold in shift and press F to add all the blueprints instead of like pressing F 5,000 times and letting my keyboard break a lot sooner than it's supposed to break. So now the supports support the roof and not the walls. And now I can start doing the basic things, like, for instance, crafting stairs. But this is going to be my garage, so I'm not going to craft stairs. I'm going to craft a ramp. Okay, and then I'm going to craft a double door. If you guys are thinking, if you park in here, where you're going to live? Upstairs. I'm going to live upstairs. And it's a good thing that I'm reminding myself that I'm going to live upstairs, because I'm going to need a staircase or ladders, but I'm going to make a staircase. It's probably going to be in that corner over there. So I'm just going to destroy this floor. And I have to think where my next staircase is going to be as well. So I'm going to walk up here, and then I'm going to walk up here. So this wall is going to support that wall. This wall is going to support that wall. There's nothing supporting that wall. There's nothing supporting that wall. So I want 2 more supports here, specifically for the staircase. Okay, specifically for the staircase. I'll show you guys what I mean now. Okay, but I'm going to build the staircase like that. It's a good thing to learn how to drag items around so you do it a little bit faster. And now I'm going to make the double garage door. Let it point outwards. And then now I start with the walls. And I always make sure the walls are pointing outwards, that the arrows point outwards. Very important to remember that, because you're going to need to do that with the outer walls as well, your main walls. I'll show you guys the basic design. So, going to put walls around with no windows. And then going to put walls around as well. I cannot, unfortunately, if somebody destroys the bottom wall, the top wall is going to cave in as well. But this is basically going to be my living area. And I don't know if I'm going to go higher up. I really don't know if I'm going to go higher up. Probably not necessary. But the reason that I place the supports here is because when I build the staircase up, I'm going to put a door here and I'm going to put a wall here. Just like I'm going to put a door here and a wall here. I want them to lockpick to get in here. I want them to lockpick to get to the next level. Okay? I want to block them as much as possible from getting to my main loot. To get the most out of your wheelbarrow use and the branch, put the branch in your backpack and put all the logs into the wheelbarrow so you can fill up the wheelbarrow completely. Okay? A wheelbarrow can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It can take 10 logs. And then you're not wasting the branch space. As you can see, if you put the branch into your hiking backpack, then you fill up the wheelbarrow completely, which is way more effective. Doesn't matter how high you go up. The mistake I made now is starting with the walls, which is a mistake. Doesn't matter how high you go up. Always, whenever you're going to do something like, I'm going to put a floor above me. Whenever I do a floor, I always start with the supports on top of the other supports. Unfortunately, okay, I will be able to do it now. I'm just gonna I'm destroying a rope. So yeah, just do the supports first, guys. Do the supports first. I made a mistake now. Please, always support before wall. Always. Okay, a bit of an advanced tip here for you guys. If you go 3 levels high, like I have gone now, you can see I built the support first and then I built the floors. You cannot, like, the supports are supporting these floors, but because I'm so high, the stability starts cracking. So now I can't build the floor here, and I have to link this floor to the supports or to this floor, because if they destroy that wall and this wall supports this floor, if you've got your loot here, then your loot is going to come crashing down. So what I did is, because I'm doing these rooms, remember I told you guys I'm going to build the door, okay? Because I built the door to come up the staircase, and I built a wall on top of that door, and I built the supports down there because I knew where these stairs were going to be. Just this one wall allowed me to build this floor. Even if it's connected to this wall, I don't care. There's a very low chance that they're going to blow through your door when they can lockpick your door. Okay, if they blow through your door, you're just very, very unlucky. They're probably going to blow from the outside, you know, and then they have to lockpick. So I've just built the one wall there, but that one wall allows me to build this floor here. Okay? Which tells me, if I build a wall here, which I don't think I can do, because I'm going to need a support. So if I build a support, no, I'm not going to build a support here. Now I'm going to build the, where is it? Now I'm going to build the door frame here. Okay. Build the wall on top of that door frame. And build the wall here to be able to build this here. Okay? Or I can just put supports down. Like, I know if I put a wall down here, it's going to support this floor and that floor. Just like when I put a wall down here, it supported that floor and that floor. But I need at least one wall here to support these floors. Otherwise, they're going to be connected. Otherwise, I can't place them down. They're going to be connected to my outer walls. They're going to rely on my outer walls. So if I want to put a wall down here, then I need to make a support there. And I need to make a support there. And then I need to make a wall here. Because my stairs are going to go up here in any case. And not only do I make a door here, I make a wall here to close off the entrance to the stairs. So to get access to my stairs, you have to lockpick this door or blow through it, and there will be a solid wall over here. So it's good that I'm building the supports up to be able to build a solid wall here, because this solid wall will enable me to build this floor. Even though the wall is not there, this wall will enable me to build that floor. If you guys understand, I'm just strengthening this stability a bit so that I know the floors are supported by the inner walls, not the outer walls. Because if they're supported by the outer walls, the higher I go, the more stuff comes crashing down, giving them easier access to my loot, because the floor's caving in when they destroy the wall, and then my loot falls down as well. If you guys don't understand anything, or if you're confused, just type in the comments below exactly what you don't understand. I'll try and make it clearer for you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just a few extra tips that I want to give you. When you cut down the trees, you can't cut down the trees again. You're going to have to travel quite far to keep on cutting down trees to build your base. So one good tip is start building your base an hour or half an hour before the server restart, because the server restart refreshes all the trees, so you can cut down the trees again. Okay, that's a nice tip. Second tip, I've probably had to destroy 4 base parts with my wheelbarrow getting stuck. The wheelbarrow is very, very glitchy. So you can use the wheelbarrow on the first floor, but as soon as you start doing fancy stuff, just use the metal chest. I've showed you how to double click the metal chest. Really, really easy to use the metal chest. Way, way, way faster. So metal chest, way, way, way better. And this is the basic design for a base where you don't want to easily get raided. This is your base, your basic level. We haven't added outer walls. We haven't added honeycombs or temporary walls or sections to protect our base more. We haven't added any extra doors for people to go in. So let's say you've got one outer wall. That's one thing that they have to get through. Okay. Then, so one door. Okay. That's one door they have to lockpick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus your outer wall is 8. Okay, they have to go through 8 doors if you put your loot upstairs. If you put your important loot upstairs. Okay, so that's 8 doors that they have to go through. You can put some loot, you can put a door in here that gives them 9 that they have to lockpick if they want to get all your loot. You can put a door in here to put loot in here. That gives them 10 doors that they have to lockpick. You can put a wall and a door in here to give them more effort. But you'd like to drive your car up to here. You never want your car to be close to the door. So you always want to park your car halfway onto this platform, so that the doors can't close and open into your car, because that will destroy your car. But you can build a wall here, put an extra protection layer over here. You can basically build a wall over there with another door, so they have to go through this door. That gives them 11 doors. Okay, so you can always extend it. You can make supports everywhere. What do I mean by everywhere? I made a support there, and there, and there, and then I made an extra support for I didn't make a support here, but I made a support for those stairs over there, and I put 2 supports down for those stairs over there. But you can, from the start, before you build your roof, put a support down here, and everywhere else. There you put a support, 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 and there you put a support. Okay? And then you go up so that you can build how many ever rooms you want upstairs. You know, you can make a garage for your cars. If you don't care losing your cars, then you can basically make a door. You know, you can make like doors, and make it a maze for them. But I like this setup because I can park my car here. I can put all the workbenches and wardrobes that I want to put in here. It's nice and neat. And then I can put my kitchen in here, make a really, really nice kitchen where I put my battery chargers, just make a very, very nice looking room. And I still give them 10 locks to go through. And then I'll have my bedroom over here, maybe have an extra locked, you know, maybe make my bedroom in here, make an extra door and wall over here. Same with my kitchen. If I don't want them to get to my kitchen equipment easily, I'll put my kitchen over here, make another door, a wall and another door, you know, so it's difficult to get to my kitchen equipment. And then here, you know, like I say, if you put multiple supports up all the way up to the top, then you can make a door, wall, you know, door, wall, wall, door, wall. You know, you can make a maze for them to get to your loot. You know, when they come in here and they see a wall, they're like, we can just blow through this wall to get to the loot. No, maybe you buried your loot here. Maybe you buried your loot here. Maybe you buried your loot here. Okay. So there's a bunch of various things you can do to extend it. Now let's get to the final touches of this base. Okay. At the top of your base, you can do whatever you want. A lot of you will know about the meta. The meta is these upside down ramps so that you can walk up the ramp and scope players out. If you don't understand what I mean by scoping players out, I will just explain the concept to you quickly, okay? So scoping players out means you can't see a player when there's something in your way. But let's say a player's over there hiding in a bush. What you can do is like put your head, you know, you have to this is not really going to help you because you can't see, and now you can see. Third person, you can't see the player in the bush there, but now you can and now you can't. So you can have a pop-in effect. So you can walk around like this and see what pops into the screen, see who's hiding somewhere. Because if a guy's lying behind the bush there and a piece of him sticking out, you won't see him like this. But if you get him, you know, you'll get him to pop in. So he'll pop into existence, or pop out of existence. And that's why people do this in third person, because it will give a pop-in effect. Like I'm not supposed to see the player when this is in my way. I will see the player when there's nothing in my way of seeing him. But if I do it in third person, I'll see the bush. There's nothing in the bush. And as soon as my face comes out, he might pop into existence. If you guys understand what I'm saying. So this is why people love this, because they can scan the area like this. Is there any pop-in? You know, or any players popping in so I can see them hiding? And then I'll scan this area. You know, is there any pop-in here? And then I can do that around my entire base to see if there's any pop-in. Another design is like this, you know, so that you can get angles on players. Like you can put a wall here and then you can just, you know, use the wall. And there's various designs for this. Okay, I haven't really used the triangle, but there's a lot of advanced things that you can do with the triangles. This is even a valid option because you don't need a support for a floor, for a single floor. You don't need a support for a single floor. So you can make a door here. Okay, and that doesn't enable them to shoot upwards. Like if someone's below you, they can't shoot upwards. So if you just make multiple doors, then first of all, no one below you is going to be able to shoot you. And then the other thing is you can't put anything on this, but like if you open the doors, then you protect it from the left and the right. So then you can just try and protect yourself from the front. You know, if you open up these doors, then this door is protecting you from the left and protecting you from the right. So you can just focus on someone in front of you. And if you made multiple supports at your base, you know, then you can make like small things to protect you. You know, like you can maybe put if you've got supports, you can maybe make something like this, you know, to protect you a little bit while you're trying to fight that guy. So just remember that you can make a floor without it being supported. You can make a single floor without it being supported, okay? And then you can make like just doors and doors and doors and doors to use the doors. And then you can give the doors like windows. This is also a cool method to protect yourself. Not that you're going to ever get online raided. It's very seldom that you get online raided. But if you get online raided, the person coming up there won't be able to see you, but you'll be able to like throw a grenade. You know, if you hear him opening up that door, you know he's on the stairs, you can throw a grenade through here or shoot a grenade launcher through here, you know, or throw a flashbang and then open the door and kill him. And then, you know, you've got this option. This option is okay. I don't really like it because everyone can still shoot you, where everyone can't shoot you with this. It's a little bit difficult shooting over this thing. I wish there was like a medium, you know, like a little bit of a low wall, because yes, no one can shoot you like this, but it's very difficult for you to shoot people like this. The wall's just a little bit too high. But I mean, this is a nice way to protect yourself. And then you can always add like extra protection. For instance, you can put a wall, you can put like that in there, or you can make the metal a metal protection, so you can somewhat see them. And then you can have major protection, but this one takes a lot of scrap metal or a lot of lead plating to craft, and I don't really see the purpose of it. It actually acts like a wall. If this one had more holes in it, then it would be effective. But at this point, there's almost no walls in it. And like I say, it takes 120 lead plating to build it. So I don't really see the purpose of it. So I'll prefer this over this. This one, very unreliable. This one, you know, you have a little bit of protection, but again, you're exposed most of the time, but you can use this. This one also, you can like lean, you know, you can like lean the angles. You can always use your holding control and mouse wheel to change your height of your crouching. You guys can see I can change how much I crouch, so I can use this window, you know, to like see them and have a fight with someone. Now I've got this window if I want. The crouching is a little bit too low. I like this one because, yeah, it feels like it can protect me, especially if I lean. If I lean, it looks like they can't shoot me, you know? Like if I just hold in control and go up, I can see them, but then I can like lean, you know, to help myself. Here, even if I crouch down, it's a little bit, I can do that, but I like this one. This one, not that much. This one is, you know, all up to taste. But if you want my suggestion, I love this idea. I love the multiple doors idea with no one being able to shoot me from the bottom. A lot of pros use this idea, which I really don't go into. And then the pop-in effect. That's why a lot of people use this. The pop-in effect in third person helps a lot, you know, to be able to spot people. And then you can even like lob a grenade over. Like if you know someone's at your door, you can just lob a grenade over. Anyone that's against any of your walls, you can just lob a grenade over and kill them. The reason that they build things like this is they'd like to have access to the bottom as well. Like if you build this right around your base, it's very difficult to see what's going on underneath your base, you know? So then you can mix it up with things like this. And you can mix it up with like the little triangle. You You can mix it up with like the little triangle, okay? And then you can make like little triangles to be able to see down to the bottom, you know, shoot them a little bit down to the bottom. So there's a lot of things that you can use strategically, but it's all your choice. It's all your choice. So for this base, I'm just going to go for the norm. I feel the pop-in effect with this is very, very effective. It does make the base look like, how can I say it? It does make the base look like a massive water catcher, but I still feel the pop-in effect is very, very powerful. Can you do the pop-in effect like this? You can probably, you can probably get the pop-in effect like this as well. Yeah, you can get the pop-in effect like this, but it's very difficult to move around like this and not get shot. So I think we're going to go for that one. That is the norm. And if you guys have got any ideas, like I said, I'm not a pro with this. If you guys have got any fancy ideas, what you like doing, share it with the community. This is the masterclass. Share your ideas with the community. Tell me where I can improve. Tell me what you don't understand. And, we'll discuss it. So I'm just going to finish the top part. And then I'm going to help you line up your outer walls like a pro or someone with problems. Like if things aren't perfect for me, I lose my mind. So if you always want things to be perfectly aligned and to work out perfectly, and you don't like anything being skew, you don't like anything not being precise the way you wanted it to be precise, then I'm going to help you with that, because I've got I don't know what you call it. I've got a problem with things not lining up perfectly. So I go through every extra efforts to make things line up perfectly. Okay, guys, just an apology. You can't give someone an extra door to lockpick here, because if you put a wall and a wall here, you can't put the upside down ramps in here. But there's a lot of people that like building something that force raiders to destroy it to protect their loot. People like giving raiders something that they have to destroy to get to the main loot, instead of just lockpicking it. And this is a great option for that. So I personally feel that, okay, apparently I can't put the floor down. I don't really know why I can't put the floor down here. Maybe it's the stairs. Maybe it's the stairs. Maybe. Now, it's stupid destroying the stairs. And that's weird. It's weird that you can't put a floor down there. But I mean, making a floor is quite a good way, because a floor doesn't take a lot of items to upgrade, So if you can make a floor and upgrade the floor fully and force them to blow through the floor, that's not a bad idea. But the problem is, I think you have to destroy the stairs, which isn't good. Yeah, apparently stairs can't go nowhere. Okay, so now you can make the floor. I want to see if I can get 2 more sticks quickly. Okay, finally we can get 2 sticks. You see, that's the only thing I don't like about the base look. That's the only thing I don't like. It's not terrible, but the whole thing that it looks like an upside down water catcher is a little bit meh to me, but it's effective. I'm all about looks and stuff like that, but I know you guys want your base to be protected, so this is a way to protect it. Now let's see if we can craft any stairs afterwards. No. So you can't build any stairs afterwards, which is bad, because you're forcing them to blow through the foundations now. You never want people to blow through the foundations, because if they can get enough C4, they can just blow up all 9 foundations. Then you don't have a base left, and all your loot drops to the ground. That's the one negative thing about building a tower. On my servers, people aren't allowed to target foundations, but on official servers and other servers, they are allowed to target foundations. So if they get enough TNT and C4s and grenades and pipe bombs, they can literally destroy all your foundations, destroy your entire base, and let all your loot fall down, and then they don't have to lockpick anything. So yeah, some people will build something that they can vault there, but on my base, people must be able to walk to your loot. But I mean, if you're on an official server, you can make stairs here. You know, you can force them to go through stairs. You can, if you want to get to your loot, you can do like this. You know, you can make something like this. You're still forcing them to blow through the roof, but you can make something like this, and then they have to jump onto that thing, destroy that thing, jump onto that thing, and you know, to get to your loot. There's various things. I don't like using exploits to protect my base, but there's various options that you have. But we're just going to go for the normal design. Again, you can build like this thing here at the top with stairs, with a ladder. A lot of people use ladders because it's almost impossible to raid you online when you've got ladders. Because if you've got a ladder, let's say the only way to access the second floor is with a ladder. Then all I can do is just wait for the guy at the ladder. He's stuck in an animation when he climbs the ladder, and then I can just shoot him. You know, some people say, no, you can throw grenades up and stuff. No, I can put a wall here with a window, wall with a window, and then I can just look through the window. If he throws a grenade and stuff, I just hide behind the door, and then when he comes out, you know, and breaks the ladder animation, then I kill him. So if you've got a ladder here, you can't be online raided, but then you'll force them to offline raid you because or you'll force them to destroy your foundations. Nothing is positive, you know, about that. So let's just craft the other stairs here that we wanted to use. There we go. Okay, so I hope you guys understand the basics. And now we're going to go to the outer walls. Okay, now the ramp, if you want to make your outer walls very close to your base, then you're going to have to use stairs. Stairs will enable you to make your wall very, very close to the base. But because I decided to make a ramp, I'm not going to be able to build my wall very close to my base. Okay, I'm going to have to use these blueprints to distance the outer wall from my base and to line it up. Okay, so I'm just going to have to complete this quickly. Going to need 2 logs, so let me go get that quickly. Okay, I've put the gamma up for you guys because it's getting late. I've been working right through the day. The sun is going to come down soon, but I built 2 foundations that I'm going to destroy just to line things up. So the first thing I care about when I build a base is that my door lines up perfectly. Okay, that's the thing that I care about most, is for my door. And you can see I can't build the door there because the ramp actually extends further than you would think it extends. Okay, so I'm gonna have to, the first thing I care about is my door, and I'm just gonna build the door as far out as I can, and then make sure the gap is the same. Okay, just make sure the gap is the same. Just gonna look at it like this. Okay, that looks like about 1.5 centimeters. That looks like about 1.5 centimeters, okay? And it's pointing outwards, so I'm happy with that. And there's my alignment. I don't care about anything else. I just care about that my door is directly in line with my front door, okay? So I begin with this. I've changed things over time, but this is what I'm focusing on at the moment, is to start with my door. Usually I started with the walls, but now I start with the door, because the door, if you start with the walls first, then, and you want to make 5 meter walls only, then at the end of the day, like if I started with the wall, if I started with the wall and built right around, and I want all my walls to be 5 meter pieces, then there might not be enough space for my door, and then I have to build my door off center or something like that, that activates me going crazy. So this is what I'm going to build right now, and then I'm going to see if I can do the door, because although it allows me to do the door frame, I still want to make, it's not perfectly in the middle, but I can live with it. It's not the end of the world. I can see it's not perfectly in the middle, but it's aligned, which is more important to me. So now I'm going to destroy these two because I'm happy with the alignment. I'm going to destroy all 4 foundations because I'm happy with the alignment. And hopefully I can build the door. It's going to be a pain in the butt if I can't build the door because of the ramp. Okay, now I'm just going to see if I've got a few nails over here. I've got a few nails. And I need planks. So let me cut up these 2. Okay, now comes the big time. Can I put the door in? Yes, I can put the door in. I'm happy. I'm very, very, very happy. I've got a toolbox. Put this extra plank in here. I need 1 more log. Just going to grab the toolbox quickly. I'm going to grab myself a log. If you want to destroy something, a blueprint that you put down by mistake, just go to crafting, base building, and you can cancel the blueprint over there, especially if you can't get to the blueprint. It will help you quite a bit. So I'm just going to cut up this log for the extra planks. Okay, there we go. And now comes a part that's going to need a lot of planks. Now you can do this with the saw if you want to, but I'd actually prefer doing this with and now I'm just going to hold in shift. You can see I can do free mode, or I can hold in shift to align it. And I want everything to be in alignment. So if you don't hold shift, you can build it anywhere. But if you hold shift, it's going to go from 100, it's going to go from 90 degrees to 40. It's going to change at a 45-degree angle, okay, to make everything go in alignment. So I'm going to make a 10-meter piece here. Okay, see how far the 10-meter piece comes out. Decide if I want a 5-meter piece or a 10-meter piece. I like a 10-meter piece. Gives me a bit of space. So I'm going to put a 10-meter piece over there. The floor isn't uneven. I'm getting 2 solid 5-meter pieces, which I'm very, very happy with. Alt-C, snap it. Just again, I just want to make sure that I snap it to this thing. And then I'm going to walk backwards, holding shift to make sure it's in alignment. And there we go. I can clearly see I can build down there without a problem. And I can clearly see I can build down here without a problem. Would have liked my flag to be inside the wall, but I can always destroy the flag and build the flag again. All I have to do is make sure I've got all the necessary ingredients for the flag, So I think the wall's going to come about here. So I can destroy the flag while I've got all the necessary ingredients with me, and then put the flag inside my wall, that I don't have to go outside my wall to repair the base. So that will be good. I'll probably build the flag in the corner of the wall because I want the flag to be as close to the trees as possible so that we can move around the trees. But that's it, guys. I'm going to go look for a chainsaw because, as you guys see, the outer walls needs a lot of planks. Now, we don't need a chainsaw for the sticks. The best way to get 5 sticks from every long stick is a cutting tool, a saw, an axe. You know, even the hatchet that I was using is good enough. But we're going to need a chainsaw to maximize our planks. And then we're going to need kitchen knives for the knife uses. You can see there's 40 knife uses. If I fill the knife uses with my cutting tool, like my axe or my saw, my axe or my saw is going to break after I fill 2 or 3 walls. So I need to collect multiple kitchen knives so that I can use the kitchen knives to fill in the cutting tools. But if you guys enjoyed this day 5 of the masterclass, do me a favor and click that like button. If you guys have got any questions, leave it down in the comments below. If you guys want to share your ideas with me, leave it down in the comments below. I'll be sure to help the rest of the community with your ideas. And yeah, if you want to see and learn everything about Scum, click that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time at day 6. On day 6, we're going to go look for a chainsaw. We're going to do a few more quests. We're going to collect a lot of kitchen knives and then focus on tier 1 mechanic and medical quests for when we complete the armorer, so we've got all the items to open up all the traders quickly. That's a rough idea for the next day. Cheers, guys. Have fun.